Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 202 for you guys today. And to kick off this week's episode, I'll be discussing my March Madness summary. So, the March Madness summary has concluded yesterday. The newly crowned national champions of the Florida Gators reigned supreme over college basketball once again. But in this segment, I'll be going over my Final Four summary and the national championship game that took place last night in the men's bracket for college basketball this year. So starting off with the Final Four, the first game we saw an SEC matchup in the Final Four between two number one seeds, the Florida Gators and the Auburn Tigers. It was Florida that defeated Auburn by a score of 79-73 to punch their ticket to the national championship game. So I really enjoyed this ball game Saturday evening between the Gators and the Tigers. It was a really good game of a battle of supremacy between two SEC teams that met earlier on in the season, where Florida defeated Auburn, went to the jungle, defeated them on the road when Auburn was the number one ranked team in the country. But both teams represent the SEC well throughout the tournament, and only one SEC team could represent the conference in the national title game, which Florida defeated Auburn. And Florida got really hot in the second half against the Auburn Tigers, and they made the game at their pace, fast pace, control the tempo, control the flow of the game offensively, started making their three-point shots. They're basically the cardiac kids of March Madness themselves, always coming back in big-time ball games throughout the entire tournament. That was Florida's style, playing at a fast pace, making three-point shots, and making the team feel uncomfortable, trying to pick back up and basically match their intensity. But Walter Clayton Jr., one hell of a guard. His NBA draft stock definitely has to rise after this March Madness tournament. Against Auburn in the Final Four, he dropped 34 points, had 5 three-point shots that he made to help Florida advance in the national championship game. Other than last night, then I seen defensively, Houston was the only team that could throw Walter Clayton off his game the entire duration of the March Madness tournament. And Walter Clayton definitely was one of the best players, if not the best player, throughout March Madness as well. One hell of a run, helping the Gators win a national title. But with that game with them and Auburn, the Gators played great team basketball. There was role players that stepped up as well to help the Florida Gators get past Auburn. But the game was filled with great highlights. I mean, the block shot, there was block shots, great defensive effort. The Elijah Martin poster that he had in the second half, oh my gosh, that was a chef's kiss. You can put that as your wallpaper, your lock screen. That was one hell of a dunk. But in the end, it was Florida that beat Auburn and survived to go to the national championship game that they played in last night, which I'll get into after this crazy Final Four game that we saw between Duke and Houston. So it was Houston that defeated Duke by a score of 70-67. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I was completely wrong. And I said that on the podcast last week that Duke was the overall better team. They had 3 players, Cooper Flagg and 2 others, that were going to be top 10 NBA prospects for this summer's NBA draft. And I said Houston was just a good college basketball team. Well, damn it, I was wrong for that, because I did not see Houston coming back in stunning style to punch their ticket to the national championship game. I mean, Duke had one of the biggest choke jobs that I've seen in March Madness in recent memory over the recent years. And they were up in this ball game. Should have put Houston away, but Houston went on a 9-0 run in the final 33 seconds of the game to surpass Duke to get to the national championship game. And Houston closed out the game going on a 13-3 run in shocking fashion against Duke, sending Duke packing. But Emmanuel Sharp hit that clutch 3 for Houston. Then Houston had a great defensive effort to create a steal. Then Houston had the cleanup dunk after somebody, I forgot which player missed the three-point shot. I apologize, but somebody missed the shot, and then Houston had the cleanup dunk. And they also had some clutch free throws to put away Duke. They also got blessed that Duke could not capitalize on some free throws towards the end of the game. And Houston locked down Cooper Flagg defensively, with Cooper Flagg trying to get Duke back into it and get some points on the board. He missed the fadeaway shot, rebounded, and Houston got the defensive rebound, and that was basically all she wrote. But, man, Duke, when you look at Duke's resume, I mean, they've been through it over the last few years. Heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. since winning their last title, national title, back in 2015. So it's been a lot of heartbreakers for Duke. This one definitely has to put the nail in the coffin as one of the biggest heartbreaks as they still try to chase a national championship. But man, that was a game they definitely should have won. And I did not see them folding like that with 33 seconds to go. Houston going on a 9-0 run and a 13-3 run to close out the ball game to help them get to the national championship game. So that brings me to the national championship game. The game that we saw last night was a thriller between Florida and Houston. Only one program could call themselves champions this year in March Madness, but it was the Florida Gators that defeated Houston by a score of 65-63 to win their third national title in the school's history. So, man, let me tell you guys, this was an absolute cinema. And the Florida Gators were the cardiac kids once again in this game. If you look at Florida's resume of how they did it, other than the first round and the Sweet 16 against Maryland, they were always in tight ball games, second half cardio kids, and always found a way to dig themselves back into ball games. Last night was no different when they trailed by Houston by 12 points, around 15 minutes to go in that ball game. But in the second half, the Florida Gators cleaned up on their mistakes. They hit some clutch free throws, and they held it down defensively. They only held Houston to 31% shooting from the field in the second half, so the Gators played well defensively. It was a good team effort by the Florida Gators last night. Walter Clayton, their best player, was pretty much contained for the duration of the game. He was not having an outbreak performance. Houston did a great job defensively throwing him off his game. He could not get hot. I don't think he made a field goal until the second half of that game. So hats off to Houston for their great defensive effort. But once again, Florida has shown, some people question why they were one seed or not. The close games against UConn, Texas Tech, Auburn, and Houston, they found ways to win when they didn't even play their best basketball. And last night, they only held the lead against Houston for a minute and 3 seconds or a minute and 4 seconds for the entire 40 minutes of that ball game. So that's insane. But now the Florida Gators have won their third national championship in the school's history. And this is their first national title in basketball since 2007. And I actually seen a fun stat for you guys that the Florida Gators are actually one of, if not the only Division I school in college sports that has 3 national titles in football and 3 national titles in basketball. So it is great as a Florida Gators fan to see some hardware back in the swamp. There has not been any hardware for a very long time, football or basketball. And now the Florida Gators have won their first national title in basketball since 2006-2007 when they went back-to-back with Al Horford, Joakim Noah, and several others that were part of that star-studded team years and years ago. But looking at both teams, what their head coaches have done, Florida and Houston, looking at Todd Golden for the Florida Gators has already punched his ticket at being one of the best head coaches in college basketball, only being 39 years of age, and it only took him 3 years to change the entire program, the landscape of Florida Gators basketball. The first time that it's felt like they have been a championship contending team since the Billy Donovan days. That's how long ago it's been. It's been a long time coming for a lot of Florida Gators fans, but he's the youngest national championship, youngest coach to win a national title in this modern era, and it feels good. It feels good. I don't know if the Gators will do it again next year. Right now, I think they're like 8th or 10th in the betting for sports bettors, but I don't give a damn. This title, it just felt like it was a long time coming, and to be a Florida Gators fan, it's a great time. And everybody that's a Florida Gators fan should be proud because the SEC broke a record this year for the most teams that made March Madness tournament a conference this year. 13-14 teams. That's an all-time record. So you already had to get out the mud, winning the SEC tournament championship, and then you went on to win a national title. So nothing but smiles from ear to ear being a Florida Gators fan. But I want to give a shout out to Calvin Sampson, the head coach of Houston. Now, this man is a basketball guru. It's only a matter of time before he wins his own national title for Houston. Now, He is one of the best coaches in college basketball today. He has great schemes. His players play well in transition on both ends of the court, offensively, defensively. He has turned around the culture for Houston, and they've been flirting with the idea of winning March Madness over the last few years. I think back in 2023, I actually picked them to win March Madness. They didn't do it, but I've seen the confidence over the years of this Kelvin Sampson program build more confidence, and it's only a matter of time before he wins his first national title, maybe as soon as next year. But I just want to give a shout out because I think he's one of the best coaches of college basketball. The schemes that he runs, the way his players play hard for him, that's everything you want in a coach. And especially in a college scenario nowadays where the NIL deals, where athletes are making millions and millions of dollars just picking up a pen and pencil and just playing the sport that they love being in school. And the transfer portal, there's no loyalty in any college sports nowadays. But no matter the circumstances, it just feels like Kelvin Sampson is just building something special in Houston. But overall, this is what I really did enjoy March Madness. Even though there wasn't any Cinderella stories this year for the men's, the lowest seed that went far was Arkansas, and they went to the Sweet 16 and fell to Texas Tech. But damn, I was a fan of this, and especially the Final Four games, the best of the best teams, four number one seeds, the first time we've seen that since 2008, the best of the best, to the Final Four games, did not fail to, they lived up to the hype and did not fail to live up to our expectations. And then the national championship game was just icing on the cake. So I was a fan of March Madness this year, but another title coming down to the swamp of the Florida Gators. But those are my thoughts and my summary on the Final Four games and the national championship game. And that concludes March Madness for this year.